Welcome back, my fellow peasants. Today we're gonna mix things up just a little bit. We're gonna take a little hop skip over across the Great Pond there and open up some Japanese products. So the other day, I was kind of looking online, mostly for some single cards and that I'd be interested in getting, and a lot of times I do like to look for them in Japanese just because they do tend to be cheaper and it allows me to save a little bit of money. But one of the things that I had noticed was a lot of the Japanese booster boxes have kind of dropped in price a fair bit. And I know there is a new English set coming out, but I was able to find both of these boxes for, I think it was less than $70 in total. So I decided, why not? I'll grab two of these and maybe two of the next box that was recently released, and we'll mix things up a little bit and we'll do some Japanese products. So this is the first half of what is going to be the newest set in English. This is Crimson Haze, I believe. Yes. Yeah, Crimson Haze. I know it kind of cut off a little bit there, but yeah, I was able to find these both for under $35 and just kind of figured it'd be something a little bit different. We haven't done a whole lot of Japanese products on this channel, and I know I've mentioned it before, but I used to be really big into Japanese cards. Actually kind of preferred them over English just because it felt like you got a little bit more bang for your buck. At the start, though, of Scarlet and Violet, I kind of felt like that coin had flipped, and we ended up doing a little bit better with the English sets compared to the Japanese. But also at that time, Japanese boxes were, I think, on the low end. I was kind of seeing them for around like 55, 60, sometimes even upwards of $70, and it just no longer felt like you were really getting your money's worth out of some of those boxes, especially because the Japanese cards, their value does tend to fall quite a bit, especially once the corresponding English set is released. So I kind of stopped buying them. I did get one box of, it was one of the special sets, which I'm kind of drawing a blank on. It was Paldean Fates was the English version. But I can't remember what it was for Japanese, but I did buy a box of that. And we got to open that up on the channel. Had some decent luck with it. I think maybe we did one or two of them. But that was kind of it. I really, prior to starting the channel, I think I had done a box of Scarlet and a box of Violet, but that was pretty much it. So just because of how the prices are now, and you know, with a lot of other things being pretty expensive, kind of figured it'd be interesting just to take a look at some of the Japanese packs. So the pack work on them, it's all the same. This all features the Blood Moon Ursaluna. For those of you that really haven't opened any Japanese packs, the standard is 5 cards per pack, and there is also no guarantee of a holo or better, which for me originally was kind of one of the turnoffs with the Japanese stuff, knowing that in English you were getting at least a holo in every pack. But now that the prices, at least for the Japanese stuff, have kind of gone down again, I think I might actually start getting into more of the Japanese stuff. So overall, the box itself and that, I do prefer the Japanese booster boxes. These make for such lovely display pieces and that. Just to kind of give you a brief example, but kind of in the background there, I've got some of the old Japanese boxes I've had, just kind of up for display. But they do look cool in that, so let's get right into it. So each box comes with, I believe it's 30 packs, 5 cards per pack, and we got 2 of them, so we got 60 packs here, so this might be a little bit of a longer video, but we'll get right into it. So Crimson Haze, this is featuring a lot of Pokemon from the first Scarlet and Violet DLC, that being the Teal Mask. The second half of this set, Twilight Masquerade, I think that's going to be the next box that we open, and And some of these Japanese packs can be a little rough to open. I don't believe there is a pack trick though. Maybe there is, but let's take a look. But like I said, this is featuring a lot of new cards from the Teal Mask set. So also, as you can see, no guaranteed rare, which is fine. But yeah, I know Blood Moon Ursaluna is kind of one of the big hits. There's also a really nice Illustrator Rare Greninja in here. And I know it's not expensive, but there's also a really cool Infernape. So if we could get something along those lines, that would be really cool. Already starting off pretty well. So I believe this is Fion, this is Fion and not Manaphy. So decent artwork there. It looks like there's at least a Wailmer in the background, a Wailord. Yeah, I think it's just kind of Wailmer and Wailord in the background there, but very nice way to start the opening off. It is always interesting, though, because there are some cards, and I don't know if this holds up anymore, but there are some cards in Japanese that are just printed as commons. However, whenever they make it over to English, they are printed in, like, hollow. Spinarak, Chimchar, I have no idea, and Florigus. So I hope I'm saying some of their names right, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes if I'm not actively using it, or if it's not a Pokemon that I'm a really big fan of, that is one of the nice things about the cards, is it does kind of clue you into, oh yeah, that's what that one is. And I don't speak a lick of Japanese, nor can I read it. Probably the closest I've ever gotten to that has been, okay, there we go, a nice little EX. This is Sinistcha, which is a regional form of Sinistea, or its evolved form. But yeah, I don't do anything with Japanese. I do like a lot of Asian horror movies, especially Japanese stuff like Ju-On or The Ring or some other the bangers that they've had come out of there. But that's about it. Or, you know, I could sit here and kind of do what they did in Scary Movie 4 and be like Yamaha, Suzuki, Tsushimi, but I think even then I'd run out of words pretty quick, and there's over 1,000 Pokemon. Okay, so we got a nice little Infernape there. Pretty cool. And then a Snorlax to end it with. But yeah, so one of the things that the Teal Mask did that I was kind of a big fan of was, if you hadn't played the Legends Arceus game, you did get a chance to get some of the Pokemon from there. Granted, the Indigo Disc did do something similar by introducing Kleavor into that. But I do think it was nice that if you didn't pay the money for that game, you were still able to kind of... Oh, there it is. That's awesome. So that is the Infernape that I was talking about, and unfortunately, I do think the lighting in the basement here is a little too bright. That might be something, you know, we'll try and fix later here, but let's see if we can get it focused on that. But that is just such a sick looking card. And Infernape's such a great Pokemon as well. I really loved Blaziken back when that Gen 3 came out. That was fire types have always been my go-to starters. But I know when we got 3 fire fighting types in a row, did kind of wear people out, understandably, but I thought Blaziken was extremely solid, and then it just kind of felt like they took what made Blaziken work and really perfected it with Infernape. So if that's the only big hit we get out of both of these boxes, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't think it's a very expensive card, but just for how cool it looks, I don't care. But anyways, back to the rant I was going on about the Teal Mask was, yeah, you got to get some of the Legends Arceus Pokemon, despite even if you had not played the Legends Arceus game, so I know you could get Ursaluna, Basculegion. I want to say you could also get Hisuian Arcanine in the teal mask as well. There might be something that I'm missing, but I feel like that was about it. Speaking of Ursaluna, there he is. Now this is just the standard EX version, but still very cool to see it. Let me know which one you prefer. Do you prefer the standard version of Ursaluna, or do you prefer the Blood Moon? I do kind of like Blood Moon a little bit more. Just looks like some sort of Five Nights at Freddy's abomination in that would just give children nightmares, and that kind of scores at some brownie points on my end. Yeah, I think those were all the Hisuian Pokemon you could get with that, and I like the fact that you were able to get them without being charged money. For that though, if you do like being charged money, don't worry, Nintendo did not forget about you, because they did do that in the following DLC, the Indigo Disc, where unless you have both copies of the game and you bought the DLC for both of them, you can't complete the Pokédex without trading, which I understand is pretty normal. I mean, that is kind of one of the selling points to games, or at least Pokemon games. I think that's what helps kind of make them a bit of a social experience, as well as, you know, connecting with your friends and trading stuff. Also, the Pokemon community is really good at setting up trade codes and that. So even if you don't have friends and, you know, you're just kind of living your best life on your own, you can still complete the Pokédex. And there we have Iron Leaves. Saw him quite a bit, especially with Temporal Forces. But yeah, unfortunately, I mean, the Indigo Disc has been out now for months, and there's still no event allowing you to go back and get Raging Boulder, Gouging Fire, or the Violet Paradox ones, Iron Boulder and Iron Crown, I think, is the other one. We got Froakie, Heliotile, Vulpix. Okay, and another full art. Again, I have no idea who that is. And Chi-Yu there to end it. That is a pretty cool Chi-Yu artwork. But yeah, it's been out for several months. They haven't done a raid for it. I'm sure they will at some point, but I just kind of don't always care for, you know, stuff being locked behind paywalls like that. I mean, I guess, you know, you could use trade codes and just kind of hope that, you know, the person you're trading with isn't just going to not trade you yours back. Because I know stuff like that does happen, but yeah, that's kind of my rant on that. I do think, though, that compared to Sword and Shield's DLC, I did kind of like the fact that both of the kind of legendary mascots for both of these DLCs haven't been absolutely broken. I do know Ogerpon, it is pretty good on the competitive scene. I've seen that a lot of people do use it. One of the new genies here, Enamorus. Wasn't really a huge fan of Enamorus, going to be honest with you. Not a big fan, though, of the genies to begin with, but Enamorus somehow made them less appealing. But yeah, Ogerpon, definitely used a good bit in competitive, but I do kind of like the fact that based off of what mask it's wearing, you can kind of tell what held item it's using. And it's perfectly fine that it's really good, but you know, you have stuff like Calyrex Shadow, which was absolutely busted. Urshifu, both forms of that, again, very busted. So it was kind of nice to see them dial that back a little bit. It wasn't as much of a pay-to-win situation, especially because Ogerpon does have some pretty viable counters, and Terapagos, the mascot legendary for the Indigo Disc, to my understanding, it's got, well, honestly, I don't know if I've actually seen a whole lot about it, other than I know a lot of people don't really feel that the Stellar type will do too well competitively. Leafeon, and the individual that we got the full art of. I feel like I've seen that person before, but without having the English name in front of me, I have no idea who that is. So if you do know, please let me know down in the comments there. But yeah, so I imagine now that both sets for the Teal Mask have been released, I think the Indigo Disc is going to be our next couple sets, or at least that's what the cards will be more focused around, is stuff like that. Which, one of the things I would kind of hope that they do is, knowing that one of the big selling points for the Indigo Disc was being able to go back and get every starter. I think it'd be pretty cool if they did something to kind of commemorate that, you know, give us some really nice Illustrator rares for some of the starters. Froakie. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we got another Ace Spec card. Again, don't know what the hell it says, but it still looks cool. And I do love the design to these. These are just beautiful looking cards. And then we just had another common trainer there on the back. I will say one of the downsides, though, to kind of some of the Japanese stuff is, while they are smaller sets, which kind of does make it a little bit easier to get the stuff that you want, it does mean that you're going to also get quite a lot of repeats. Which is perfectly fine, you know, especially if, I guess if you're playing the card game itself, it does kind of help you get, you know, duplicates of stuff that might be good in the game. And we got Crawdaunt, Vulpix, Halucha, Leafeon. I feel like we've seen a lot of Leafeons and something. So we're definitely well over halfway through this box. I think what we might end up doing in that is kind of burning through a couple packs here. Applin, Fion, Torkoal. Torkoal also has a really nice, I was just about to say full art in here, but we got Screamtail. It's very cool. Always glad to see them doing stuff with the Paradox Mons. I do really like them, and I kind of hope that that's something maybe we get to see in the new Legends game that's been announced, is maybe get to see some other Paradox forms. I do know the big hope for that is we'll get some new Mega Evolutions, which I would definitely be excited for. Pinsir, Corphish. Gonna guess that's Switch. Ariados. I'm just guessing it's Switch because I feel like that particular trainer card uses that quite a bit. So I think what we're gonna do here, just so the video doesn't go too long, I'm gonna open up a couple packs. So I have noticed that it's been, so we'll go one to the front. We're gonna set this down here. Set the other cards outside, and I think we're just going to finish up this box here quickly as we can. We'll kind of burn through the commons a little bit quicker. Again, going one to the front. So if that is going to be a rare or better, in theory that's where it should be. So, just kind of a way to speed things through, because these packs are a little bit more challenging to open, or maybe it's just, and that's my flavor of autism here for the day. Almost forgot what I was doing there. I will say though, despite the packs being a little bit more difficult to open than the regular ones, I do appreciate the little bit of extra quality that goes into them. We're going to put what might be another rare down there. And yeah, we've got 4 more packs, so we'll just do that, kind of make it like a big mega pack. Check out some of the commons here that we get, and then see if maybe we got any other rares. I'm guessing, though, we might have already gotten our kind of big hits out of this box. But could be wrong. Interestingly, though, the seller that I found on here for these, it was the Last Samurai. They do a lot of stuff on Amazon, just in case anybody is interested. I was a little bit nervous and kind of hesitant on pulling the trigger on this up until I saw who the seller was, because it does look like somebody else had been selling these boxes and was kind of going through the packs and at least trying to get all the hits out of them. So obviously with this box we've done really well. As I've said before, this particular individual is somebody who I bought, gosh, I would say just about all of my Japanese products from, and I have never had a single issue with them. But just be aware, that is apparently something that's going around. So this was a seller like I said, I've worked with before, so I was quite okay with it. Monferno, Cha, or something like that. But I think at this point we've kind of seen a lot of the commons here. So not bad artwork. Yeah, like I said, I guess, if you were a player over in Japan and that, this is a nice way of being able to kind of get all the potential playable commons, uncommons, or whatever it is you might need. But we'll just kind of take a quick look through here. I think at this point we've kind of seen just about everything. That is a pretty cool Cramorant artwork, though. Love Ball. But yeah, so at this point here, I think we've kind of seen all the commons that this set has to offer. So I think for our next box here, we'll kind of be a little bit quicker moving through packs. But let's see here. So common, Zapdos, okay. Glaceon. Surprisingly, I don't feel like we've seen a whole lot of Glaceons in here. Oh, okay, nice. Iron Thorn. I do love the coloring on that. I know I mentioned it before, but the way it kind of starts with that yellow and then gradually turns black, I think that's awesome. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any sort of special artwork for Iron Thorns in here. Switch. Okay. Macargo. This is a terrestrial. And then Walking Wake. And okay. So actually 3 hits back to back there. So we got the terrestrial Macargo, Walking Wake as a regular holo, and a nice little Illustrator Eevee. So definitely off to a good start with our first box here. We're just going to move these out of the way, and then we'll kind of have one big round up here towards the end. Try not to... I know I don't throw them in sleeves too much. I'm not one of those individuals, but I still don't want to try and damage them. They will be sitting nicely, though, in a binder. And yeah, so that was so much fun. I say let's do it again here real quick. Another 30 packs. And we are just going to try and burn through these ones a little bit quicker here. So we got Nose Pass, Hippolyte, Monferno. Yep, so nothing good there. Let's see. Okay, so we do have something here. So Pinsir, Fion, Halucha, another Sinistcha EX. I think the other one then is Sinistee, which is the other regional variant of that, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is Sinistea and just its evolution got a different name. So, Ninetales, Crawdaunt, Tadbulb. Okay, there we go. Nice little Applin card there. I do like how they have Dripplin in here, but just like the DLC, they're going to make us wait for Hydrapple, which has easily become my favorite Applin evolution, and something I've been meaning to get a shiny of in my game. I have the shiny Applin, just for whatever reason, haven't got around to evolving it. I did finish up my Holo Enamorus. I did finish up my playthrough again of Scarlet, so I think just kind of after that, I feel like I've done a whole bunch of the stuff that these games have to offer, so I'm just kind of waiting around now for Legends to come out. And as you've been seeing based on a lot of my shorts, kind of fallen back in love with Halo Infinite. I do know this is a Pokemon channel, but I do just like to show off little clips here and there of other games that I'm playing, just to kind of mix it up, because there really is only so much you can do in Pokemon games before you've just kind of milked them for their entirety. So, Tangela, Corphish, Glaceon, Giant Hammer. But yeah, I've fallen back in love with that. I don't know what it was, but for a while there I just could not get into it, and now all of a sudden just don't feel like playing anything else. So we're trying to grind out to the hero rank there. We're a little over halfway. Okay, so I will say, even though I'm not a huge fan of Enamorus, that is still a pretty cool looking card. It's very cool. Very excited that we got that. I don't even remember seeing that in the little teasers that I was looking at for it. But let me know what you guys have been playing. Are you guys still finding that you're getting a lot of playtime out of the current gens? Have you gone back and replayed any? I think that was maybe one of the things that had crossed my mind, was going back through to do some shiny hunting in the max raid dens, or whatever that little mini game was in Sword and Shield. Just because having, okay, there we go, Hisuian Arcanine. Probably one of my favorite regional Pokemon to have come out. I love Arcanine. I know I've said it numerous times and I'll always say it. I do love canine type Pokemon, and I know regular Arcanine still sees a lot of play. It's still really good, but it is always pretty cool to see life or new life get breathed into fan favorites, and then also see them succeed just like their other forms. Oh. Okay, there we go. Another Iron Thorns EX. So again, very cool. This is something I just love to see them do something with Iron Thorns. I know they've had a couple arts with it, but Tyranitar was, which for those of you that don't know, that's what Iron Thorns was based off of, was Tyranitar. I mean, at this point it's been a couple years, so I don't think I'm dropping any major spoilers, but Nose Pass, I actually don't think that we saw that one. And then that is a pretty nice artwork for Eevee. But Tyranitar was one of the Pokemon in Gold and Silver that I was very, very psyched to finally get. And yeah, to see it get chosen as a Paradox Pokemon, especially in the game where you can't actually get Larvitar or any of the T-Tar line. It's kind of cool that you still got a futuristic take on it. You got Frogadier, Ninetales, Hawlucha, that person, and Leafeon. So it looks like Leafeon and Glaceon are the only two evolutions in this set, which is kind of unfortunate. I'm going to be honest, I think I'd probably put them as my bottom two evolutions. Glaceon, at least, I don't think it has a terrible design to it, just never really felt like using it. Another holo Zapdos. Yeah, so it looks like overall we are still having pretty good luck even with this box. So just as always though, you know, do your research. If it's something you feel uncomfortable with buying, you know, I know a lot of the prices are dipped down low right now for the Japanese stuff, but just always be careful, you know, avoid scams if you can, and, you know, if you feel a little shady on something, but you see the exact same thing for maybe a couple bucks more, sometimes you can't put a price on that peace of mind. Chimchar, Crawdaunt, Florges, and then she is actually the one that will give you the quest for the Ursaluna. And then I believe, too, she gives you the kind of little side quest as well for Iron Thorns, Iron Boulder, Gouging Fire, and yeah, the other one, Raikou Paradox. I always forget what that one is. Raging Bolt. Okay. Monferno, Tile, Sinistea, Driplin, which I do kind of love the candy apple vibe that they went with for that. I think that was a pretty cool way to do it. So we are definitely halfway through our second box here. Eevee, Floette, Ninetales, Snorlax, Love Ball. But as we are winding down here and my brain's slowly shutting off and running out of things to say and that, if you could do me a favor, hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. It does definitely help out the whole channel here and that. You know, we are 3/4 of the way, and that is a really cool picture of Ting Lu right there. But we are a little over 3/4 of the way to 100 subscribers, so if we could hit that, that would be awesome. So don't be afraid to share the video. We do try to have weekly stuff here, or I guess at minimum at least bi-weekly. So far though, I think that we've done pretty good at trying to hit weekly. We've had a few, you know, a few times in that where it just hasn't worked out, but like my man Ray in the trailer park said, that's the way she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she doesn't. But hopefully with some of the Japanese stuff being a little bit cheaper here, you know, maybe that'll definitely help. Okay, another full art Screamtail. So we're still getting some good stuff out of them. We've got, let's say, about 10 packs left. It's kind of hard to tell by just doing a quick little flick, especially with these only having 5 cards in a pack, but see, Eevee, Floette, Torkoal, kind of Farigiraf. It would be kind of cool if we could get the Torkoal full art. I don't think we're going to, but I'm not going to complain if we did, because Torkoal's a champ. And let's see, Applin, Alucha, Froakie, it's not no Probo Pass. There we go. And the little spot that you go, I think it's the community center. It would also be cool though, because that Greninja artwork in this set is really cool. It'd be nice if we could see that. Vulpix, Girafarig, Tangrowth. Okay, regular Screamtail. Very cool. I actually kind of like that little bit more threatening artwork for Screamtail. Okay. Frogadier, Suian Growlithe, Monferno. Okay, another Ace spec. I don't know how many ace specs are in this set. Maybe it is only this one. But either way, we have another one. And Dripplin. Okay, so yeah, so we're definitely cooking right through this box here. Let's see. Corfish. That dude, the community center guy. Tadbulb. Infernape. Okay. Still not a bad picture of Infernape. I feel like it's good that you got a lot of love this set. But I'm definitely glad that we got that. That was kind of the big thing I was hoping for. Plus, we did at least get one version of the Ursaluna. Granted, it was the not expensive version, but still pretty cool. Nose pass. Okay, it does look like we got something there. That is actually pretty cool as well. So we'll take that. They've been really doing some nice artworks in that for these sets. I'm so glad to, having been around this hobby and that since the beginning. Granted, it did take a very long break there for a while, but it is still so cool to see just how far some of the artworks and that have come. And granted, I know cards like that are, even in Pokemon, still relatively newer, because I think they really only came out in Sword and Shield. It is still really cool, though, that they have gone to those lengths and that to make the cards look as good as they do. Let's see, Crawdaunt, Pinsir, Hammer, more Pecco. And we've got 2 packs left here. Hopefully we have at least one more hit. I kind of feel like we probably should. But we'll find out. Ninetales, a little lizard dude, Eevee. Okay, another Walking Wake, and then safety helmet. For those of you that need that when you're riding the school bus. And here it is, our final pack. Can we end on a high note? I know we pretty much had 3 back-to-back hits for our last box, so let's see if that's going to be the way we go out in here. We have Tangrowth, Torkoal, Floette, and okay, we did. So we did get Greninja. Interesting that they did the, yep, that is the fighting type that they have. I couldn't quite tell because I know this is the fighting type in the card game, but kind of had to tell off a little hat there. But very cool. Very cool. Hopefully one of these days I can find the Illustrator Rare and get a hold of that. But yeah, overall I'm very happy with these 2 boxes. We definitely got a lot of good hits, and I think we're gonna run it again on some of the Japanese products. But as always, make sure to flex on the pores out there, get some of these Japanese booster boxes while we got them at such nice prices and that. But hope everyone has a good weekend, and we'll catch you next time.